what's something we can universally tell people who listen to this podcast? Let's start with men. That you think you wish they did this more.
Well, I think one of the, besides slowing down and understanding that she needs, if he's dating a woman, if he's with a woman, if he's making love to a woman, female bodied owner, a vulva owner, slowing down, giving her full body touch. I always use my bullseye touch technique. Bullseye touch technique is, if you imagine a bullseye with the rings, the outside ring, the middle ring, and then the bullseye in the center. The masculine, because he's testosterone dominant, he's full speed ahead, he's ready to go, he's horny every day, he's already turned on, he's got an erection, and he's just ready to have sex. And he wants to go straight for her crotch. And that's not what she needs. What she needs is her hair stroked and to be held and her feet rubbed and her back rubbed, and she needs a kiss. She needs to be kissed, and she needs her breasts fondled. She needs her nipples played with. Before you even touch, I'll call it her yoni, Y-O-N-I. That's a tantric lovemaking word for the female pleasure system.
Okay.
And the homologous name is the lingam for his penis. And when you touch her yoni, not just going right for the tip of the clitoris, but understanding that what's behind that tip is a shaft. Her penis is actually there. It's actually not the inside of her vagina is the same as his penis. She actually has a little mini, smaller penis, which can grow larger over time as it's stimulated and stroked and played with. So she can get a clitoral erection. And that clitoral erection has arms, little crora, they're called, that go in and up and back toward the pubic bone. And then she has clitoral legs that drop and hang down like little punching bags that are actually located underneath the outer labia on each side where the pubic hair is, and they like to be kneaded and played with. And she likes her groin touched and her mons above where the top of the pubic hair is played with. And she likes her legs stroked, her thighs stroked, her belly stroked, her little sweet cheeks stroked. And she has these beautiful inner labia, which are actually just the forward-facing part of her clitoral structure. They attach right up into the clitoris, and they are as orgasmic as the clitoris itself because they have so many sensitive nerve endings. They're the beautiful little lips that embrace your penis as a man. And they love to be stroked and licked and touched and pleasured. So does the hood of the clitoris, which is part of those labia. It's not just about that tip. It's about all that tissue and the opening to the vagina, which is called the vestibule. The opening where you can see the vagina, that's called the vestibule. And it has, that's where the G spot actually presents on the outer face of the vestibule, where the pee-pee comes out and her ejaculate comes out. There's spongy tissue around there. So you've got the clitoral tip and the hood, then you've got that nice smooth tissue inside the vestibule. You've got that outer G-spot area. You've got the opening to the vagina. The vagina itself is a little opening called the introital sphincter, which is a round muscle that loves delicate teasing. It doesn't want to be thrust into. It doesn't want to be pushed open. It wants to be coaxed to pull you in. And so allowing her to want you so much that she sips your penis in instead of you just probing her. I think that's really an important piece. And then where the labia come down at the bottom, that's called the fourchette. It's marvelously activated tissue. And then inside the vagina, instead of thinking about the vagina as just a sheath for a penis, if you begin to think about your penis as a heart tongue instead of a piston, when you are in there and you've connected your heart to your dick, and you're gently licking the entire inside of her vagina, the sides where the nerves run down her legs, and the top where the G-spot presents at the entrance to the vagina, and the bottom where the perineal sponge is located between the bottom of the vagina and the rectum. Her vulva has 3 erectile tissue systems completely wrapping that vaginal opening. And so really thinking about all of the ways that you can pleasure that tissue with fingers, with hands, with toys, with penis, with tongue, and activating it, creating new neural pathways of pleasure to her brain, bringing that blood flow in, getting it all plumped up. So she's got this juicy, plump vulva. Now think about all the surface area on that beautiful peach. Every time you touch it and stroke it, it's getting massively more amounts of pleasure signals to it. And then when you penetrate her with your heart tongue, and you're thinking about your penis as being like a pool cue, you can aim it at different places. It's not just in and out, friction, friction. You can drop your hips and loosen your hips and push down and slide back with the tip across the top of the vagina and tantalize her G-spot. You can use short strokes, shallow strokes, punctuated with long, slow, deep strokes. There are so many ways. You can pump her, or you can hold her and move her on you. You can do so many different things just with that level of thinking than just this kind of like, you know, you heard some bed springs once and thought that was what sex was, right? So that's some of my advice for different ways that a guy could start to begin to think about it. And there's one more piece I'll add, and then I'll let you ask me some other questions or what have you. But the nipples and the tongue are directly connected to her clitoral structures. And when you kiss her and you touch her tongue, especially tip to tip, it's like a second clitoris. Her mouth is completely orgasmic. Her throat is orgasmic. She can have orgasms from your penis in her throat. And she can have orgasms from you touching her breast tissue as well as her nipples. And if she doesn't yet do those things, you can co-create those new neural pathways together and activate that system, that connected system, so that when you're pleasuring her breasts and making out with her, it's engorging her clitoris before you even get down there and start touching her vulva. So I think those are some of the things that I like guys to understand about the woman's body.
That I felt like I was in a romantic novel of like anatomy. That was wonderful.